Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and today we are starting Crystals of Time, a hidden object puzzle game of which it looks a little interesting. It sounds pretty ambitious just from its audio. Here we have some characters' background descriptions popping up here, but frankly it doesn't stay up on one character long enough for me to read the whole thing comfortably. Plus, uh, it's a little difficult to read with this bright light. Don't know anything about this game. I think it's a hidden object game. I could be wrong about that even. Let's begin. Fast hint recharge. Objects of interest are highlighted. Or hard, slow hint recharge. No highlighting of objects. I'm gonna go normal. I would have gone easy if they offered it. My name is Ashley Ford and I am a thief. Okay, hi Ashley. I inherited this hobby from my father, Francis Ford. I think just Francis Ford Coppola when I hear that name. A known adventurer and collector. He was all over the world exploring unseen locations and finding many precious items. Okay, this is a decent background story for a hidden object game. But one day I lost contact with him, he just disappeared. One day I was cleaning the attic and I ran into my father's belongings and I found this journal. Okay. He is talking about all his adventures and the last note is about a certain Three Oak Mansion, a big villa near the Gulf. Near the journal I found a crystal. It appears that he bought it from someone who stole it from the house a while back. Then I thought that this was my chance to find out what happened to my father. It's been 10 years since. Now, logically, there's nothing you're gonna find out 10 years later. Look at how small this screen is, though. Since I last saw him, and the dialogue too. This game does not handle 1080p well. In fact, it's not even really animating at 1080p. This is as far as the mouse can go, and then it's just giving me black bars on the side because it wants to keep the aspect ratio correct, and they simply didn't overdraw the image large enough. But like this could be way out over here, this could be way out over here. No way to drag it wider. Ah, good. Welcome. Access the game settings while pausing the game. Let's see. Map, inventory, items. This feels like one of the uh, Mirror Madness games. Was it called Mirror Madness or the Crystal Shard or something? It has an inventory as you often do in hidden object games. I suspect that there is a hidden object game creator. Some items can be collected in order to be used in games. Hint, skip. I'm finally here and it looks exactly like my father's picture. I have to be careful, I might run into someone. Let's see how I can get back into the house. Or can get into the house. She's never been in it before. Yeah, I imagine these hidden object games are simply just made using a helper program. They seem to be somewhat repetitive as far as the layout and such. That's fine. If you're an artist and all you can do is draw backgrounds and hide some objects in it, at least that gets you to making your first game. Here we go. We found an old newspaper. Oh, it's so tiny. So tiny. What happens if we click on it? Or right click on it? Or middle click on it? Nope. Nothing. So is this gonna be the key in the under the doormat trick where you slide a newspaper under the door, knock the key out of the keyhole on the other side, and then uh, So it looks like I can climb here, but we need to turn. Alright. Fuse box, I don't need to open it now. This is a little bit different for a hidden object game. You typically don't turn around. Okay. So now we're into the first hidden object scene. We're looking for, I suppose, the Geiger counter, tape patch. I bet we're looking for all of this. Pocket watch, aviator hat, hacksaw, camera, water bottle, darts, air tank, chisel, revolver, and tire pump. Well, here's a chisel. Uh, Geiger counter. Was a camera right here. Hacksaw. Let's see, we're looking for a revolver. Here's the revolver. She's a hardcore thief carrying around a gun. Darts. Nope, that's not something. Of course, the issue with any hidden object game is you can just run around and click all over the place. And usually there's not even a penalty for doing it. It's a decent balance, I would say. It kind of sucks, but it also stops you from being completely blocked from moving forward in the game at all. Aviator hat. There's an aviator hat. Here's a tank. And we need a tire pump. Is the plunger a tire pump? Nope. What's this thing? Or this? Looks like pennies on goggles. Here's some rope that looks like it's in the form of a pretzel. Bloody crowbar. Here's the tire pump. So pocket watch, right there. Tape patch. Boy, does she have a lot of junk in her trunk. Quite literally. Is this a tape patch? What does a tape patch even look like? How about a water bottle? There's the water bottle. And tape patch. There we go. And of all those items we picked up, the only thing we needed was the chisel. And that's often the case in the point-click adventure games, is you'll get one actual useful item. There we go. Now we have a metal ring. It's locked by some kind of mechanism. Does this unlock it? No. How about this metal ring there? How about here? Seems to be locked by some mechanism, you say. Candle. There's a candle in the lamp. That doesn't make any sense. Ah, a puzzle. As often is the case with point-click adventure games, you get little puzzles that can be very annoying. So now we just need this outer ring to line up in every single place. There we go. I guess there's nothing more to do or needed to be done, so let's move forward. Now, what's really strange here is that we seem like we're gonna talk to or deal with people, and that's almost never the case in point and click adventure games because they're supposed to be slow things. You may have a guy show up in a picture and tell you to find some objects, but I feel like there might be a little bit more communication and interaction going on here. Let's see, I'm finally here, break into the house. Apparently we just got a journal entry. I'm not going to bother to read all of this. Hopefully we can get this gist of the story here. When I want to play a hidden object game, I kind of just want to find hidden objects. It's a simplistic game for people who want a simplistic game. It's not going to be something on the lines of, well, this room's creepy. How did I get in here? What? Where am I? I was trying to get somewhere else. This back arrow looks creepy, by the way, too. It looks like eyes. So I can go this way, and it's locked. It must be connected, a connection in the sphere of the door. Let's start here. Combination. Something is missing here. Yeah, I like the combination. Anything else? Something's missing here. So we need to find a couple of things. Let's start looking. Creepy spiders. Oh, here's another puzzle. Let's do it. Lantern, radio, hammer. Knife, binoculars, shoe. Boat, rope, stamp, light bulb, belly, and trophy. Light bulb. Trophy. Stamp. Stamp. Hammer. Boat. Playing cards, cheese grater. I have this theory that half of these images also get sold to other people, and then they just make a different puzzle hidden object game, finding other objects in the puzzle. But wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. When you make something this cluttered with objects, you probably want to reuse it a couple times. We need a knife, a shoe, radio, stamp, binoculars, and trophy. Here's a shoe. Here's a mouse. I'd also tend to guess that all the items are probably within this area, and this area is overdrawn area that would be cut off if the resolution was lower. However, even if this was ported over to a cell phone game, I think it would probably be able to, there's a better way to scale the images than all of that. I have no idea what that was I just clicked on, but I got it. Let's see, bell. No, lantern is right here. Wow, I've been looking at that the whole time. Notice that objects aren't behind other objects. Almost never is that case, because that would be a little unfair to spend an hour looking for, here's the trophy, looking for something and then find out, oh, you had to find something else before you could see it. Like, here's a bell. Oh, Here's a knife. Here's a knife. So now we're just looking for a radio and a stamp. Hmm. Some of these things I think I clicked on and simply the game didn't know I was clicking on that. Here's a radio and stamp. Where would a stamp be? Is it a postage stamp or is it a rubber stamp? Hmm. Just clicking on everything now. Trying to find that stamp. Hmm. Where could you be? Stamp. Bear, briefcase. I don't even know what this is. Is that a fish or I can't even tell what it is. Some of the stuff just looks like poorly drawn items. Not terribly drawn items, but like I have no idea what that is. If I leave right now, does that mess up my progress? I don't know. I think it's time to ask for a hint. Really? This is the stamp? Wow. That seemed unfair. Completely unfair. Can't take it with my bare hands. Smash it with your with a hammer. Take it with an old piece of newspaper. Take it with a piece of rope. Hmm. Is there anything else? Yes, this item. Piece of stone. And then when we go here, we have an old vinyl player but no disc. We have some pliers. We have a piano key. We're picking up quite a lot of items. Of course, there's no list right now telling us what to pick up, so you are down to just clicking on everything. I wish there was a bit more direction in this story. It seems kind of ridiculous that 10 years later she's going back to a place where her father may have been, just on the off chance that that's going to uh, that it's going to work. So I hammer that in, and now the door opens. And what do we have now? I guess we want everything in the green position. Well, that was incredibly easy. Was not expecting that at all. So, like, no solution to this. I guess we'll just come back to it. In the building we go. I can't see a thing. Must find a way to turn the lights on. Roll up this newspaper, start a fire. The fireplace hasn't seen a fire for a long time. Well, looks like somebody's looking over the counter there. That may be a statue or something. Seems like we can't do anything. One thing that should being pointed out here is the incredible amount of work you had to do just to get in the front door. That's quite a lot. Alright. Piano key on this. I need a fuse here. Alright. So where do we get a fuse? Pliers. With that? Nope. But I bet we could use the pliers on something else. Let's go back this way. Come over here. Grab this with the pliers. Can't take it with my bare hands. Well, fine, whatever. Let's go back 2 screens to the fuse box that we saw this way. Open this. Come in here and take a fuse. I need to cut the wires first. Well, pliers, cut wires. Cut both wires. Not really necessary, but okay. So, conveniently, the fuse that powers the street light is going to be the exact same kind of fuse that works in here, in the house. I seriously doubt it. Here we need like a voiceover telling us what to do. These are some really old like fuses. We need probably not to blow the fuse. So this one, and then what else do we do? Then this one, this one, this one, this one. So it's a specific order, it feels like. Not really a puzzle. It feels very much just like a... Like, these don't even work. And these don't work until this one works. So, yeah, fuse boxes don't work this way at all. Who do we want next? I would guess this one. Then I'd guess that one. Wow. Super repetitive. This one. And then this one. That should do it. I hope there's power in the house now. Me too. I also would like to know what in the world I just did. It's not how electricity works. It's not how fuses work. It's not how circuit breakers work. Wow, it appears this place hasn't been cleaned up in a long time. Strange, I was under the impression that I saw someone when the lights when I entered the courtyard. See, that was just a light. There. Fireplace hasn't seen a fire in a long time. So, we're just like looking around this building for no real reason. What does she expect to find? Dr. Nathan McPherson, the door's locked. This door will never be opened. I wonder if that's just like video game commentary there. This place seems well too clean and stocked. The image looks completely different than the one we were just looking at. Nuts, button candlestick corn, star nuts olive oil, smoked ham, cheese grinder, eggs, corkscrew, and axe. Now what's funny is I've already seen like at least one axe and one cheese grater. Uh, maybe that's different than a grinder though. Maybe they mean a grinder sandwich. Yeah, here's another cheese grater. And knives. And that can be a problem if you pre-buy these things. Uh, so in a lot of ways, hidden object games can be just different combinations of pre-made assets with very little actual effort put together. That's what's going to make a hidden object game stand out from the pack is there a story here? Does that story make sense? And is it compelling? Alright, we're looking for olive oil there. Looking for a star, a grinder, a corkscrew. Here's a corkscrew. Scale can also be way off, like this alarm clock is kind of small compared to jars. Let's see, we're looking for a star, smoked ham, candlestick, button, and grinder. Like this gourd here looks huge. Here's a smoked ham. There's a button. Look how big that button was. Uh, Candlestick grinder. Where are you, candlestick? Here's a can opener. Don't need that though. Here's poison. Here's a grinder. Of course you want to put your poison on your shelf with all your food because that way you'll remember where you put it. Of course I'm joking. Let's see, star and candlestick. How many hints am I gonna end up using in this whole game? Probably more than I normally would. Certainly don't want to sit here and take forever looking for one thing. So I give it the old college try. I'll look up and down something. Typically go up and down, left and right from different angles. Try and see if I see the item. But I don't want to take too long because then I'll just get frustrated and you as the viewer will hear about it. Frustration is another thing that you have to be very careful about in a hidden object game or any puzzle game. In fact, it's how frustrated will you let the player get before you start suggesting that hint. Oh, I looked at that so many times. I just did not put two and two together. This has been used recently. Yep. Here's a gear wheel. Looks like we need 4 of those. This has been used recently. What's this here? So we need to put a item of some sort in there, but I don't think we have it. I should find the missing item first. That's helpful for the game to just tell me I need it. Like this one, though, I can pretty much just stick right there. We need 3 more of those. what does this do? Ah, it shows us a map of where we were. So there's a backyard and a beach boat shed too. We haven't even been to that and we already know it exists. Interesting. So if I start to run into trouble, I know what to do. Having a bit more open world might help a hidden object game a little bit. That way you can walk around and try different places. In some scenes you can go back in time using the power crystal by using the time crystal. After one use you must wait for the crystal to recharge. Okay. My crystal was discharging in energy. It turns purple now. So the hint / time. Well, what if I need a hint? I guess you'll never be in the same scene where you need a hint and can go back in time. I need to open it. Well, open it. I need the key to open it. Okay. Didn't see that part. This one is looking at me. That's creepy. Well, so now we have a different spin on it going back in time. You usually don't do that in a point and click adventure, not point and click adventure game, hidden object game. Wow, what is this? Where am I? Is this the same room? It's tidier and I can almost smell something coming from the kitchen. Am I back in time? Alright, so now I found the ruby, and in this, you could certainly find your father. If you can go back in time, let's see, get a piano key. Now we have 2 of them. Someone will eat here soon. Is there anything else in this area that I can get? What happens if I walk backwards? I guess I can't. So you're kind of stuck in the area you're in when you go back in time. I'm back into the present. So this is in a different place, but everything else is pretty much unmoved, except for the table was cleared. Is there gonna be anything in the hallway? How long is this game, I wonder? Probably longer. Looks like a door, but how can I unlock it? 5 slots, looks like I need 5 statues. This seems to be a map of a maze. Ooh, so there's gonna be a hedge maze. There are 5 slots here. Anything else to click on? Let's see. Clock. I need a key to open the door. Do I have a clock key? No, but I have a ruby. Now when you're playing a game as a thief, collecting extra rubies and gold and such makes a lot more sense than it does in most games. Isn't that a newspaper? I found this letter. Dear Margaret, if you want to use the old chest to stash goods, please remember the code is 3579R. Alright. I need a piece to finish this match. Okay, we need a chess piece. So we now know the combination to the chest. So we should like run back and get that pretty soon. This door is locked. So let's go ahead and run back here. Something is missing. Here. It's not a ruby, is it? So I can't open that. Interesting. Can't open it quite yet. Anyways, let's go up this way. Looks like a Roman leader. Is there anything down here? Won't budge. Doorway, doorway. The door's locked and blocked. Far too many doors. The key is in the lock on the other side of the door. Yep, here we go. Piano key in there. Maybe rope in there. I need something small. How about just an axe to the door? Well, we halfway got there. Let's see, what does it say? The door's missing a handle. Axe. Axe solves everything. You can get anywhere you want to go with an axe. Pretty much. Let's look here. Nice picture. There's something hidden behind it. I bet there's something hidden behind it. Axe to picture. Well, how do I get behind it then? It's not the most valuable picture from here. It's just a regular picture, nothing fancy. So both of these lead up the same place. Not a big surprise. Here's the piano. We do have 2 piano keys, but we need 4 more. Well, 2 more. We needed 4 in total. So we have a rope, an axe, and a gear. We know what the gear goes. It goes right here. I can see a living maze out there. Let's see, what else can we do? Nothing, so let's go to the backyard. I can't go there yet. Can't go there yet. House, gate. I don't like that the map comes up and you can't just click it away. Something's missing there. Hint. So it is this that's the next trick. Oh, I just had to click on it to get the key back? Okay. I thought there was more to it than that. I guess I just knocked it out with my fingers. Next room. What? I thought I clicked here. Next thing, so we need an ink pot, a glove, a glasses, a train, a spool, a record player, a bell, a record, a statue, a tiara, a diary, and an electric lamp. Well, here's an electric lamp, right? Nope. Here's a record player. Here's a statue. Here's the ink well, let's see. Sometimes it helps to say the words out loud. There's a record. I don't know what that was I just clicked on. If you say it out loud, maybe then you'll remember yourself saying the object. So here's a train. I said train before. Otherwise you can just click on everything. It looks like a pillow. It looks like something you would get. Umbrella, time clock, hourglass, hat, this belt. Here's a spool. I thought that was a spool. We're looking for a bell, a glove, electric lamp, glasses, diary, and spool. Here's a bell. There's glasses. Where's the spool? Where are you, spool? Where are you? Is that a spool? No. I don't even know what this is. Matchbox. Let's see, elephant. Not something we want. Glove. There's a glove. Diary. Right there. Electric lamp. If it's not this lamp, then where? Where's an electric lamp? Unless they mean like a flashlight. Well, they've got me with the electric lamp and the spool. Let's take a hint. There's a spool. And electric lamp. I am just blinded by this lamp here and surprised that it's saying no. We gotta wait for the hint to recharge. Of course, I could just sit here, click on everything. Well, apparently the electric lamp was right there. Here we go, a knob. That seems like that's gonna connect. I'm not sure how long this game is gonna go. I think spending about an hour on this recording, though, is the right move. If it turns out that we only spend 2, maybe 3 hours at most on this game, that would be fine. Hidden object games, typically not very long games. You play them once when you have a few free hours and then you move on. That, of course, makes them pretty expensive games because they don't take up a lot of your time or provide that much of entertainment value. 3579. but they are relaxing. I will say they're usually relaxing until they get frustrating. Here we go, we got a rusty key. And I can't take the axe to the mirror, darn it. Now, if this was a point-and-click adventure game, I would say getting something like an axe and having it the entire game and never getting to use it would be a classic troll of a point-and-click adventure game. Let's see. We have 2 pieces of what looks like are going to be either 6 or 9 pieces. Let's see. We have a rusty key. What needed a key? This room, it's like the door's locked. Does the key unlock? No. The door will never open. We've been there. We've been here. But there was a key needed for this. So that's not the key. Or do we need this or that? Nope. I think the time mechanic needs to be available at all times. That's what I would say. Is right now it seems kind of silly that we've only found one place where it works. Key. So there's a key is needed right here to open that. But it's not the rusty key. The door's locked. Now it's unlocked. Sign reads to the greenhouse. The sign reads to the maze. I'll have to cut down those roots before entering. Finally, we get to use the axe. We get a blazing piece. That's a heck of a greenhouse to get that overgrown. There's a crack here, but I need something thinner. Look how overgrown this is. The thing about greenhouses, though, is once the glass and everything is broken and you're not tending them, the plants inside have a tendency not to survive, because if they could survive outside by themselves, you wouldn't have needed to build a greenhouse in the first place. Greenhouses, of course, are for plants that aren't supposed to actually be grown in your climate. Wow, I don't see anything here. Just a whole bunch of plants. Hint? Really? You want me to go all the way back that far? I think that's a little excessive. Let's go this way. Here we see a lighthouse. The lighthouse is in use. We get another piece of paper that I imagine is just another piece of the maze. Oh, it is going to be 9 pieces of paper. Well, that's not going to be great. There's a fallen tree blocking my way down. I cannot see a thing. I need to clean up the lens. Alright. So we'll need a cloth. This fallen tree blocking my way so I can't walk down to the beach. And I imagine if I took any other hints, that would only make it worse, or tell me the same thing. A young lady statue, I don't know who she is. It's a statue. Someone took the other blazon from here. There we go. So we need 2 blazons. That just looks like a Greek statue. It doesn't look like it would actually be of somebody famous that we would recognize in today's day and age. Like, even like Michelangelo's David is kind of a made-up name. We don't have a clue if he was even trying to depict anyone in particular. Or I'm not even sure we were even certain it was actually Michelangelo who carved it. Let's see. I can see something in the elevator, but I can't open the door. Wow, why are we back here? Really? Talk about cheap. I have not seen a hidden object game that has done this. Hazelnuts, bunny, pepper, onion, old recipe, corkscrew, eye, fork, corn, grater, apple, knife. Some of these items were even redundant. We got the corkscrew before, I know we did. This is ridiculous to reuse it. That's too much. That is too much in the same game. Knife. Hazelnuts. Peppers. That's not peppers right there, is it? We need corn. This makes me fear that this game is very short. Very, very short. If we have so closely gotten pushed right back into doing the same puzzle twice. I'm trying to imagine if this game, here's corn, if a hidden object game, not particularly this one, just any of them, had like an incredibly careful tutorial at the beginning where it was telling you, find the onion, and then you had to find the onion, and it says, okay, now find this, and just walked you through it in such a quick, not quick, slow motion tutorial. I wonder if that would be something anybody would think about doing. I don't think it would be. It's too much. If you can't figure out the concept of here's a list of objects, here's a picture, find these objects in the picture. If you can't figure that much out, you're doomed for failure in video games in general. I would say, let alone hidden object games, which are pretty simple as long as you have a hint. The only way you could really lose is to get stuck and not be able to find what they're asking you to find. Here we're getting a little noise when we click on something and it isn't the thing we're looking for. We're looking for an old recipe, a fork, and a bunny. Here's an owl. Here's a bunny. Tricky there. An old recipe and a fork now. Where would the old recipe be? Like right here? Yes. Alright. And where would the fork be? Hmm. Let's go ahead and hint. Ah, a wooden fork. I kept looking for something silver. I guess that was partially my fault. So we get a knife. What are we gonna do with the knife? I'm not sure. We've gotten 5 pages and knows that the objectives are always the same on the left side. So nothing's changing there. We're just looking on the right side. Sometimes there's a picture of you as the character. It's interesting that they introduced so many characters on the loading screen of the starting the game, considering so far we haven't seen anybody or communicated with anybody, and I kind of feel like we might be close to halfway done with this game. We might be, if they're repeating already. I would kind of hate that, but it might be the case. Anywho, that's where we're going to end this recording. I will come back in the next recording and play some more. As always, I end my episodes the same way. I ask you to like this video, I ask you to share it with your friends, I ask you to comment if you want to, and I ask you to watch every second of my videos because that helps me with YouTube, tells them my videos are worth watching. If you want to support me even further than that, you can click on my name Rydo. That'll take you to my main YouTube page. On the right there's a blue button that says support this channel. You can click that, make a donation of any amount. I would be very appreciative. And then also on my main YouTube page is a playlist tab. You can click that and see a playlist for every single game I've ever covered. Furthermore, down below in the description box I have links to all my social media sites, so click on there and friend and follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, friend me on Steam, and friend me on Battle.net. All those links and information are down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.